Take back the power that fell into the wrong hands. Cradle it closely and run. Take back the power, give it back to the sun. Life can begin again. In my eyes I've a vision, it's blurred with bitter tears, from the speed and collision of our petty man-made fears. And then the celebration of the world we've all passed by, with a new communication to end the murder of the skies. Take back the power that fell into the wrong hands. Cradle it closely and run. Take back the power, give it back to the sun. Life can begin again. When we're through with being bigger, better, faster than the rest, chase the girl until you get her, sweat and toil to have the best. We all love living, loving, growing, precious times decay. This party can't keep going beyond the summer state, 'cause small is beautiful. Take back the power that fell into the wrong hands. Cradle it closely and run. Take back the power, give it back to the sun. Life can begin again. Take back the power. Take back the power. Take back the power that fell into the wrong hands. Cradle it closely and run. Take back the power, give it back to the sun. Life can begin again. Take back the power that fell into the wrong hands. Cradle it closely and run. Take back the power, give it back to the sun. Life can begin again. Life can begin again. Life can begin again.
Oh, look at you all. Oh my word, it's just so, I mean, this is such a beautiful experience for us. I have to admit we're slightly nervous because it's our first Zoom concert that we have actually controlled everything. So there's about 1,000,001 things that could go wrong this evening. But everybody has written to us, or so many people have sent us messages before saying, it doesn't matter. It's a really beautiful thing that we're all meeting up to mark, and it's a really important thing. And those of you that know us, the Portraits, we have had a long history of supporting Myanmar, Burma. It holds a huge, huge place in our hearts. And you'll see as the evening goes on, we're going to play for about an hour, that at least, or I'd say 8 out of the 12 songs were directly written about our experiences of Burma and the Burmese people. And they need our support and our help at the moment. They need to know that we're with them. So tonight we stand with Myanmar.
One thing that has been asked often is, and asking ourselves often is, what can we do? What can we do? We're feeling kind of so helpless, and I'm sure that all of you are saying exactly the same thing. What can we do? And so we thought, okay, through music we can try and do something. So thank you for coming and making this evening very special. Seeing you all on the screen and names of people that have tuned in, it's a very special moment. So thank you.
Of course, we in the West are not immune to kind of retrograde actions. This song was written in 2019 when I felt our own politics was kind of moving back to a dark era. And tonight we sing this with Myanmar very firmly in mind, because hatred is not the way to go. This is called Those Were the Days. division. We viewed the human race with tunnel vision. We've scattered lives for gains ill-gotten, and all the scars once more forgotten. The world is rewinding, quick, stop, press play. See where we've reached, 1,000 miles away from all we've learned. Progress erased, good old-fashioned hatred, those were the days. We'd color code success and sorrow, hope for the few, the bright tomorrow. To make amends is so much easier. Yes, to forgive, no to amnesia. The world is rewinding, quick, stop, press play. See where we've reached, 1,000 miles away from all we've learned. Progress erased, good old-fashioned hatred, those were the days. I did believe, though no mind reader, the plus jamais and never wieder, the darkest skies, hostile and waiting, the never again evaporating. The world is rewinding, quick, stop, press play. See where we've reached, 1,000 miles away from all we've learned. Progress erased, good old-fashioned hatred, those were the days from all we've learned. Progress erased, good old-fashioned hatred, those were the days. Thank you. Do you know what? How gorgeous is it to see people in the United States of America and Bristol and, let me see, Durham and the northwest of England and
Sydney, Australia.
Southwest, the far southwest. Sydney in Australia, for heaven's sake. And a couple of people who have had a huge long, and London, a couple of people who've had a huge, bonjour, la France, a couple of people who've had a huge long history of supporting Burma, including, I believe, Koang, who's here somewhere, a very, very special man. Koang often works side by side with Mark, who I believe has been incredibly generous this evening. We'll tell you more about that. But speaking of generosity, this little concert of ours, which we just thought, oh, we'll just play a few songs and we'll get people to think about Burma, has raised something near, I believe, 1,500 UK sterling pounds due to your unbelievable generosity. Now that money is, we're being deliberately ever so slightly cagey because we really feel it's very important to protect our Burmese friends at the moment and we don't want to get anybody into trouble. It's going to people who are working incredibly hard to support young people in Myanmar, educationally and protection-wise. So it will make a massive difference. And if anybody wants a bit more of information, message us afterwards and we'll talk to you all about it. This song was written in Yangon in 2015. Lorraine and I had been last to Myanmar, Burma in 2005, so we had a full 10-year gap. And that 10 years was a pretty key gap for those of you that know Burma, Myanmar. It was the difference between a very, very scared, locked down state in the middle of the first decade of this century to a country that was full of hope. That was our experience of it anyway in 2015. They were about to have what they felt was a free and fair election, basically for one of the first times in a long time. And they were waving flags and they were joyous, and it was just an amazing thing to see.
And it was an also amazing thing to see, because it was the first time that when I was there, I was pregnant with Kira, and then we were bringing back our 2 kids, and they saw this joy in the faces of people. It was like, we might have our leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, actually as part of the government, and it was such freedom for them.
So this was a bit of what would you say? This was an ode to that moment. And it was in particular an ode to this mammoth and very tricky task that Daw Suu Kyi would have when she became, we didn't know what at that stage, state councillor as it turned out. That kind of Mandela moment where somebody has been your kind of leader in waiting for so long. It's a monumental task. And I think it's really important to remember that, whatever we feel about the time since. So this was a song of hope at the time about Burma. Many people have taken it to their hearts for other reasons, and that's lovely, but this is called Good Things. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Will you lead from the head? Will your heart rule instead? Lead us to better ourselves, get ahead. Simply teach us to know how to think again. You were once nameless, now you are shamelessly sprayed out in rainbows of pride. Again lifted onto your shoulders, the burden of hope in your name. Good things, good things, good things come. Good things, good things, good things come. Oh, good things, good things, good things come to those who wait. There's anticipation, emancipation, but discrimination now flows through this nation. Teach us to know when we're wrong. It's never easy, the safety of PC in your eyes when we see anticipation, simply godlike for too long. Good things, good things, good things come. Good things, good things, good things come. Oh, good things, good things, good things come to those who wait. Come. Good things, good things, good things come. Oh, good things, good things, good things come to those who wait. I'm sorry, I have to laugh because I know my neighbour's on screen here and she's just put my dog up on the screen.
There's a dog in the middle, that's our dog. Ella deserves a big round of applause for looking after Kyla this evening, our cockapoo. Thank you, Ella. Well, actually, Ella's been a great help as well with us helping us set up this Zoom, and so has Ellie, who I believe is here somewhere. Big thanks to you. We did a couple of tests this afternoon, and I was basically in the position where I was saying, what button do I press? Help! But anyway, I wanted to put all of your volumes on, all of your sounds on, and let you clap and whatever, but I was very strictly warned to be careful of that, because it can all go a bit crazy and everyone can echo back to everybody else. So what we are going to do when we finish playing is we're going to try putting them all on and have a chat if you want to, and whatever. Tell us what you think of what we've done and what we've said and all of that kind of stuff. This song, we wrote the last song, Good Things, when we were in Myanmar in October 2015. And this next song was written when we came back to the UK, and it was the following summer, 2016. And it was written on, I think it was the 18th of June, which was the awful day when Joe Cox MP was murdered. And again, going back to what I was saying earlier, it shows that we're not immune in the West to awful, awful things happening. You know, good people who've tried to make a difference just being gone, just being removed from the world like that. This is an anthem for Joe Cox, but also an anthem against hatred. This is called Nobody Can Ever Murder Love.
Anyone can start a fire and make the headlines, and anyone can send a message around the world, and anyone can fill the skies with clouds of hatred, but nobody can ever murder love. Chacun peut prendre une vie avec la violence, ou priver un enfant de sa maman. Tout le monde peut mettre la liberté en péril, mais personne ne pourra jamais tuer l'amour, unless and until we lose the will. We have found time and again to stand up much prouder, to shout even louder than them, unless and until we lose the will. We have found time and again to stand up much prouder, to shout even louder than them. Anyone can make a sound to bring us terror. Anyone can set a scene to bring us fear. Tout le monde peut essayer de nous diviser, mais personne ne pourra jamais tuer l'amour. L'avant is just God's compare le doigt d'un monde qui n'a pas d'ennemis. Il volerait notre fierté, nous chanterons plus fort que lui. Unless and until dedicate this song to Jose, who I just found out had to go to hospital this evening.
Oh.
And she sent a little Facebook posting of herself. She's okay, but we just want a bit of a wave over to her to say in London, look after yourself, darling.
Josie. Yeah. The reason part of that song was in French was we went down to France shortly after writing it, and of course 2016 was a terrible year in France. They had many attacks, and it felt the right thing to do to work with Vincent. I don't know if Vincent's with us. Vincent, many of you know, is our violin player from La Rochelle.
Vincent's running around the country because he knows his lockdown, I think, has it come in already, but he's making...
Yes, it's well in.
I think it's in, is it?
Yeah. But Vincent helped us translate some of those words into French, and it's a kind of song of unity. This song that we're going to play now is, in fact, the next two were written during that very same trip to Myanmar in October 2015. They're both from an album that we released called Global Heartbeat, which was pretty much entirely about our travels there and meeting the Burmese people. The Burmese people are, for those of you that don't know, and I'm guessing many of you do, among the most kind-hearted, witty, funny, gentle people that you'll ever be likely to meet anywhere. And they prize us, like I suppose... I always feel it's totally unjustified, because it is. They prize us purely by the virtue of our Westernness, as almost like kings and queens. We get treated as if we're royalty. And during that trip there, I had this very strong sense of, why are you all saying thank you to us all the time? Chezu Dimbade is, excuse my terrible pronunciation, is Burmese for thank you. People were saying thank you all the time for just us being there with them. So this song was a little bit about that. And also, being a musician, it's quite an up and down existence. I had this very strong sense of, forget it all, forget our life, and forget chasing dreams and trying to be musicians. Let's leave it all behind and go and do something for these people who are so grateful. Because they care so much. So this song is a little bit about the Burmese gratitude that you feel when you go there, and this is called Beautiful Chaos.
These are the days that I'll hold, I'll keep in my memory. These are the words that I'll share wherever I go. Thank you for all that you've done, which I count as zero. Value me here more than gold, but I am no hero. I could leave behind music, faded dreams that aren't there. Return to this beautiful chaos where someone will care. Look down to civilization, carving its scars through the green uncharted plains. Please tell me what I can do to make some small difference. More than my face and dreams from a distance. I could leave behind me
Thank you so much. Thank you. Are you all okay? Is everyone all right? Put a give. Well, yeah. Do the. Brilliant. Good.
You're all allowed to have a little drink as well, you know, because I kind of have one here as well.
So this is this is the second of our two songs that we were playing back to back. This one was essentially my words as I walked through a very small back street of Yangon. And this was the same period, October 2015, and this time full of hope. And I took myself off one day and I walked down very near, for those of you that know or have ever heard of the sort of how Yangon is all laid out, near the Sule Pagoda, which is tragically where they've had an awful lot of the shootings and the protests and some really, really terrible stuff that I find it very hard to even think of. Anyway, I was walking down this tiny back street, and what they had at the time, I can't swear that they still do, was all these blue satellite dishes pointing up from the tower blocks. And I was walking down, and all this sort of sense of hope and people bustling through the streets, and these satellite dishes looking up. And at the same time, we had spoken to somebody who'd recently been on a meditation course. A Westerner, actually, a German guy who'd been on a meditation course, and he said to us in a very thick German accent, which I won't try and do, he said, yes, it's gone very, very well. It was beautiful, and I almost achieved enlightenment. So I, of course, had to go and really look this up to see what this was all about. And apparently the definition, again, I'm very naive to these things, very uneducated when it comes to theology of different parts of the world. But enlightenment, the definition that I've read anyway, is freedom from desire or the end of desire and suffering. So in other words, you achieve a state where you're just good. You're good within yourself. You're happy. I'm sure there's plenty of you that will correct me on that definition. But anyway, that's what I've understood. So I got thinking about this, and I thought, well, these people, these beautiful Burmese people, might be on the verge of finding that. They might no longer strive for anything because they might, okay, this is a bit Disney, I know, but they might achieve their sort of sense of total satisfaction with the world. And of course, those of you, again, that know Myanmar of times past, there used to be these big scary signs up called the People's Desire, put up by the army to tell the people how to think. And I thought as well, okay, the end of desire, the end of the people's desire. This is where my thoughts were with this song. So it was a snapshot of what I saw in Yangon that day, these satellite dishes beaming out, telling the world that we're going to be free and we're going to be happy and everything's going to be all right. We know now that things are a bit different. This is enlightenment.
This is the end of desire and suffering.
And the rains hammer down on a road built in other times by tiny hands. And crowding into tunnels, the wastelands in short dresses, cloning catwalk brands. What cost this modern world? Is all this a facade? I ask, can anybody really know for sure?
This is the end of desire and suffering. This is the end of desire and suffering.
Labor spared the dimes, filling trouser pockets when such clothes weren't seen. But to undermine the people, marching in a thunderous shade of green. Another world today, brutalities, indifference preserve these scenes, these rains now wash away.
Suffering. This is the end of desire and suffering.
Enlightenment. century's drought. Identikit blue dishes beam the world in, and now we beam back out. Now you're on the edge, the precipice of something new you're certain you've not ever felt before. This is the end of desire and suffering. This is the end of desire and suffering. Enlightenment. The thing to do, count me in. And if to die frightened is the thing to do, count me in. And if to die frightened is the thing to do, count me in. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. This is a special moment. First of all, I realize I've been incredibly rude tonight. I haven't really introduced ourselves properly. I know many of your faces because we've known each other for years, but there are one or two people that I don't know, so I should introduce. My name's Jeremy, and my wife Lorraine and I, say hi, Lorraine.
Hi.
We've been the portraits for years, and many years now. And we have more recently introduced she wouldn't want to be called a new member, I don't think, but we have been fortunate enough to welcome our daughter Kira into some of our music making. And a classic example was last Christmas. Some of you may be aware that we had, I suppose you could call it our first kind of small hit single. We recorded a version of Together in Electric Dreams, the Phil Oakey and Georgia Moroder song, to mark all of the people that have been lost during 2020 from the pandemic and from other things. And it's been a really tough year and a half. So we recorded this song, and Kira's going to join us this evening to attempt our first ever actual live performance of it. And so here's Kira.
Where's the camera?
So the camera's right here, Kira, so you can, there you go, yeah.
So Kira, you can take that.
Oh, of course you are, yes. So you actually get a break from me talking. So Kira's going to sing this song with us now, and I'll pass the mic over to her.
I only knew you for a while. I never saw your smile till it was time to go away. Sometimes it's hard to recognize love comes as a surprise, and it's too late. It's just too late to stay, too late to stay. We'll always be together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric dreams. Because the friendship that you gave has taught me to be brave. No matter where I go, I'll never find a better prize. Though you're my together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric dreams. We'll always be together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric dreams.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So Kira has actually something to say on behalf of everybody in Burma,
Yeah,
Myanmar.
I made this a while ago, and it's like this little speech I put up on my Instagram a while ago, and yeah, so I'm going to read it out. Right now in the world, in Myanmar, the military have taken over and are shutting down Myanmar, including their internet. This means they have no access to the world, and they have shut all the airports down and platforms, so they are completely locked away. The military just wanted a power trip and have been stealing people's money, making themselves rich, stealing their houses and land, leaving them all poor on the streets. Aung San Suu Kyi, the leader of Myanmar, has now been locked in her house, meaning she has no control and can't save her country. I have friends over there who are out in the streets fighting for freedom. They need liberty. We need to spread as much awareness as possible and let people know that this is an issue and needs to be dealt with. We need to help them and do what we can to make them all feel safe and protected.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
I'm very proud of her. She's grown up to be a very opinionated, in all the right possible, right ways, and very political young woman. And I think great things are ahead for Kira. Thank you, Kira. You can go and chill out now. Where are we?
I think we're actually on Moon Song, so
Right.
we're going to lift up the tempo a tiny bit.
So, magic moments. Not Perry Como, but magic moments. I love that, by the way. I love Perry Como's magic moments. This is a song called Moon Song. And I can't possibly introduce this tonight with Marga. Hi, Marga. Marga's on the screen in the corner. Marga waving up there in the top, in our top left corner. I'm not sure where she is on your
North
screen.
America.
She's a Massachusetts lady, I believe. But anyway, long story short, she managed to get this song up onto the International Space Station. I can't even begin to... yes, I know, exactly. And there's a whole story which we probably haven't got time to tell at the moment, but this song did make its way up to space, appropriately enough for it. It's really about treasuring those special moments in life, and it was written about our little boy, Ewan, when he had a moment looking up at the... Do you want to...
Yeah, just that little moment where, you capture and you think you can't put this in a photograph, but he was only days old and it was a full moon and just kind of walked outside and in the middle of the night, feeding, and he just looked up as I did, and it was just a magical moment. So we wrote this song, told Jeremy about this, and this song has come out of it called Moon Song.
Feel free to sing along. 2, 3.
Heartbeat, and next to me breathing, you kept your rhythm and I fell out of time. The moon, it stirs us, it waxes and wanes, a billion refrains, the same melodic line. Ha 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 ha. The tale of darkness and borrowed slumber, but now I need you, you know that it won't keep. I need to take in more of this paradise that you have brought me. It's not a time to sleep. Leave the ordinary, step out of every day. Young eyes fixed on the moon's light, and they're shining as these moments fall away. Ha 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 ha. your rhythm and I fell out of time. And if this moment will never breathe again, I'll hold it captive forever in my mind. Leave the ordinary, step out of every day. Young eyes fixed on the moon's light, and they're shining as these moments fall away.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, Vincent, we miss you, we miss you.
Yes, but
Salut.
but Kelly's with us tonight. Kelly, hi Kelly. And hi Stephen. Kelly's in the middle there. Kelly, well, I keep saying in the middle. I mean, she's in the middle of our view. I don't know what you guys can see, but anyway, Kelly's with us. Kelly played violin for us for many years and will again soon, I'm sure. So back to our October 2015 trip. Did you want to?
And I think actually it was, so many memories, going back, and I let Jeremy do most of the talking. I mean, most of the time people can't stop me, nature of being Irish.
In the real world, I don't say anything. Lorraine does it all, but there you go.
And then I get myself behind the mic and I just... But this next song is a very poignant song because it represents just how children should never have to witness war. And this is what's so sad coming from the news and hearing it. And it's heartbreaking to hear that children are caught in the line of fire. And this song is called Crossfire, and it's exactly about that, how children should whether it's abusive, marriage, whether it is just neglect, that children just shouldn't have to suffer like this.
But this was inspired by one little boy that we met in Myanmar.
In the school.
Again.
Yeah.
And he had a terrible story behind him, and he was haunted, and you could see
the glaze in his eyes.
And the thought now that
this is all
children
happening
are
again.
not, they're fair game, it appears, for all the terrible stuff that's happening on the streets of Myanmar at the moment. It's very, very hard. So this is about
little
that.
boy was actually, we found out afterwards because we brought clothes over. We just brought kilos and kilos of clothes for this orphanage affiliated to the school. And we found out this little boy was literally just dragged from bodies, pulled out alive. And, he survived with his sister, but this is why, it's just, So this song was born out of all of that little incident to see that boy, and it's called Crossfire.
Mine is a small place here in the corner of a battleground where one who's so small all but disappears. So full of terror at the thunder crashing endlessly out in the hole. It's coming closer, bleeds through the plaster, and I might see still, and over my head the cries of hate and arrows fly. There in the crossfire am I, and my tiny heart takes the fall. I should have been nowhere near at all. This is my refuge here in the corner of a safety net that's torn up in fear. If I stop breathing, maybe I'll vanish. Mother and father, please don't leave me here. It's coming closer, angrier, faster, and I might see still. have been nowhere near at all. And over my head, the cries of hate and arrows fly. There in the crossfire am I, and my tiny heart takes the fall. I should have been nowhere near at all. They forgot I was here. Over my head, the cries of hate and arrows fly. There in the crossfire am I, and my tiny heart takes the fall. I should have been nowhere near at all. And over my head, the cries of hate and arrows fly. There in the crossfire am I, and my tiny heart takes the fall. Should have been nowhere near at all. They forgot I was here. They forgot I was here. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you very, very much. I should say while I remember, because I know I will forget. We've decided to put all the songs in the exact order that we play them tonight on this special kind of commemorative CD. I don't know if you can see. Oh, where am I looking at? Oh, yes, there. Commemorative CD for tonight's concert. It is also called Stand with Myanmar, and it's basically our set list, but it's the original studio recordings we made of all of these songs. Again, we're going to donate all of the proceeds from this to the school that we support. And as I say, if you've just joined us, we're being a little bit cagey, being a bit careful about naming people directly tonight, because we know that there's a huge sort of sensitivity at the moment, and an awful lot of worry about people getting into trouble.
We don't want to put anybody in danger.
We don't, but we are happy in a private conversation afterwards if you want to email us, theportraitsmusic@gmail.com, to tell you a bit more. So these are now, will be made next week, but if you want one, go to our website, which is theportraitsmusic.com, and on the front page, there it is, and you can buy it. It's £10, and we're going to give everything that we make, all the profits, to the educational establishment we work with. And what was I going to say? Yes, shipping is included in that price. So do grab one if you want to give a tiny bit more. But you have been incredibly generous already.
Amazing.
So I want to say a big thank you once again.
And for a lot of you that know and are associated with Myanmar, that every pound just goes so far in that country. So £1,500 is enormous. And so it's just incredibly generous of you, so we really thank you for that.
Thank you very much. So our last song was about a young child that we met in Myanmar, and actually so is this one. This is a song that we wrote in 2010, some years after meeting this young person who Lorraine took a photograph of when we were there in 2001, I believe it was, or it might have even been the year 2000. I don't know if you can see that. Yes, I think they can. This young girl played a massive part in our life, but we only knew her for 3 minutes, not even. Lorraine was a budding photographer at that time and went around the city of Bago taking images. And it just so happened that, occasionally you'll just capture, won't you, that magic moment. This young lady was about to lift this giant basket of crab apples onto her head. And Lorraine came along with her camera and said, "Do you mind if I take your photo?" We tried to be very respectful and not just snap people. And she said, "Yes, fine." And she looked up at Lorraine and smiled the biggest smile you've ever seen. And this young girl and then shortly after the snap was taken, that big basket of crab apples was hoisted up onto that head and carried away as if it was a piece of paper. And that was it. And so we wrote a song some years later, looking back on that moment. We wrote the song in 2010 and called it Bago Girl, wondering, by that stage we'd had Kira, our own daughter, and Ewan, and we thought, well, our children might have been friends in a different universe with this young girl who's obviously a bubble of delight, despite all the terrible things she was having to live through. We went back in 2017
17 was the first time.
17 to Bago, with the picture, desperate to try and find her. We went along with some people that could speak far, far better Burmese than us, and that's not difficult. And nobody knew anything of her. And we also tried a Facebook campaign to see if we could find her, just to say hi. And we wrote a song about her, see what had happened to her. And we don't know. We don't know. We hope she's okay wherever she is. This is Bago Girl.
Don't think, don't watch, don't ask, don't move, just walk away. Back a girl, are you listening? You'll be 20 now or more. Child carries no weight like you did. In other times you might have been friends. So don't think, don't watch, don't ask, don't move, just walk away. Back a girl, your expression still so loaded 10 years on. Since this is me and I love all that I am, in the dust it begins and ends. Don't think, don't watch, don't ask, don't move, just walk away. Like a girl, did they defeat you? Such dignity and dress and tone,
And painting flowers
over all of the grace of your world.
wondering if
Mine changed while yours never could.
passing by. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's nice to see everybody just clapping, and I can't hear you, but I can see you're beautiful.
I think, yeah, what we're going to do is in a minute, we've got 2 songs left in our little set, and during the next song sometime, I'm going to have a go, because I'm a real amateur at this stuff, of unmuting you. At least I've discovered I can't unmute you, but what I can do is allow you to unmute yourselves. So in Daisy Chain, which is going to be the song we play in 2 or 3 minutes' time, feel free to turn your mics on, and then hopefully we can make a real cacophony together. Where was I? Yes, I meant to say, it's this Zoom concert thing, it's not, I don't think, any musician's preferred method of communicating with the world. But it's been a lifesaver for many musicians during this time, and it's been a really, really odd time for the performing and creative arts generally. But we are actually booked to play a concert in the real world, and anybody who is anywhere near London, on June the 11th, there will be some COVID restrictions, I believe, but we're playing in the beautiful Sound Lounge in Sutton in London. And if you are anywhere nearby and fancy, can you imagine actually being in a venue together?
Yeah.
Wow. So do keep that in mind, June the 11th, if you are on this side of the water. This song, Fairy Lights, wasn't directly written about Burma, but I think could apply because it was me looking out of an aeroplane window and thinking of the damage that our empire, the British Empire, did to so many parts of the world. I think that's almost undisputed now. Although I've had situations where I've said this sort of thing in public and people have said, yeah, but we did an awful lot of good as well. But I don't think you can,
just sounded
outweigh.
like Boris Johnson
God,
there.
Did I? Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm not doing my Boris impression tonight. So I don't think doing some good outweighs doing terrible things. This was looking down upon Africa, actually. But of course, we have a whole history in Myanmar. The British and my own family were involved, and apparently my grandfather was a much loved commissioner in the north of the country. But in some cases, we've left quite a legacy of less than positive things. This is a little take on that, really, and how we perhaps sometimes zoom out and don't think about those things quite enough. This is called Fairy Lights. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Chips on round, turbulence is on the ground, and travelers' anxieties, nothing to the dread unleashed a mile below. Wars, fronts, rivalries, so far from our ancestors' cares, divide and rule, run away, live to lie another day. We take the lion's share, let the rest disintegrate. Ours is wealth and power and divine right. We imagined away the fires that we laid, and right up here I'd swear they're fairy lights. Toy blown astray, fragile bird will land today, and over 1 million lives time makes good, but fast divides. We take the lion's share, let the rest disintegrate. Ours is wealth and power and divine right. We imagined away the fires that we laid, and right up here I'd swear they're fairy lights. Share, let the rest disintegrate. Ours is wealth and power and divine right. We imagined away the fires that we laid, and right up here I'd swear we take the lion's share, let the rest disintegrate. Ours is wealth and power and divine right. We imagined away the fires that we laid, and right up here I'd swear they're fairy lights. Oh.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, this is the moment. You've got to do your... Lorraine's got a magic button, everybody. Lorraine's going to press her magic button, and all kinds of wonderful things are going to happen. In fact, she's changing guitar. It's nothing all that exciting. She's changing guitar so that we can sing you a song called Daisy Chain, which was one of the first significant songs we wrote about Burma, Myanmar. And this was based on a kind of Disney-style dream that I had one night, where it was, I think it was 2009-10 when I had this dream, and it was a dream about the, at that time, terrible, scary, brutal regime just crumbling, but crumbling in the most gentle way possible. Crumbling because soldiers decided to put down their guns and join hands with the people, and this big chain was formed around the country of solidarity, of togetherness, and everybody decided enough was enough. When we started to sing this again a couple of weeks ago, I felt a real kind of lump in the throat, because considering everything that has happened since, we're kind of back to those dark ages again. And that dream, which at one point seemed like it might actually come true, has just turned on its head and gone in completely the wrong direction. So we'll sing Daisy Chain as our last song tonight, and once again give you many, many thanks for joining us. It's lovely to have such wonderful friends and supporters, and you please stay around afterwards. I'm going to release, I'm hoping I'm going to release your mics, but maybe wait until the sort of towards the end of the song to turn them on. You have to do the turning on, just to remind you. So I'm going to try and unmute you all, or give you the power to unmute yourselves. And then we'll sing Daisy Chain. And I think it's a fitting way to end this night, because it's kind of coming full circle to where we began. This is our wish for Burma to find better times, and it applied in 2009, and it applies in 2021 even more. So, play a chord around and make sure you... Okay, so in theory, you guys have the power to unmute yourselves. Ooh, sorry, it's not a very good start. Okay, this is Daisy Chain. This is the chain, a nation long, circling 50 million strong, and round again. This is the day the last one stands, puts down a gun, and the final hands close the chain. Topsy-turvy world, you harm the weak and you hold the power. The dealers sell the truth, and like the walls are quickly made insane and never seen again. On a dusty avenue, the shadow army with its rifles trained on a crowd that swells in spite, here to see a sight they know could cost their lives, no more afraid to die. This is the chain, a nation long, circling 50 million strong, and round again. This is the day the last one stands, puts down a gun, and the final hands close the chain. Betrayal and intimidation roll away, and a crowd so graciously ask to please be left to live their lives far from prying eyes. This is the chain, a nation long, circling 50 million strong, and round again. This is the day the last one stands, puts down a gun, and the final hands close the chain.